You've gotta be kidding me, Qin Feng murmured to himself, staring at the game announcement poster plastered on the billboard. It was a sunny afternoon, and the digital advertisements played a merry dance of color and light in the city's bustling heart. Yet, only one stood still, frozen in time: Divine Realm, public launch today. The date was unmistakable. It was the same day he'd played the game for the first time, the day everything changed. His heart thudded in his chest as the memories of his previous life flooded back. The betrayal, the fame, the painful descent into obscurity. He'd lost everything: his friends, his guild, his self-respect. But now, with this chance at rebirth, he could rewrite his destiny. With a newfound resolve, Qin Feng strode into the gleaming arcade, the smell of freshly popped corn and the distant hum of virtual battles beckoning him. The clerk's eyes widened when he requested the Supreme Class Gaming Pod. "Are you sure, sir?" she asked, her voice a mix of awe and skepticism. The pods were a rarity, a luxury only the elite could afford. He nodded firmly, handing over the credits without a second glance. This was his ticket to redemption. The pod's gleaming surface was cold under his touch as he stepped into the cozy chamber and lay down. The world outside grew dim as the pod sealed around him, the neon lights dimming to a soft glow. His heart pounded in his ears as he initiated the login process, his breathing shallow and rapid. The moment of truth was here. Would he be granted the power to rewrite his fate? The pod's AI, a soothing feminine voice, began the talent assessment. "Please stand by while we analyze your neural patterns and select the most suitable talents for your game experience. This may take a moment." Qin Feng closed his eyes and took deep, calming breaths, trying to ignore the anticipation clawing at his insides. His mind raced with the possibilities. What kind of player would he be this time around? Would he be strong enough to protect his friends, to conquer the realm, to stand at the top? Suddenly, a burst of light filled the pod, and the AI spoke again. "Congratulations, player Qin Feng. Your assessment is complete. You have been granted 10 SSS class talents." His eyes shot open, and his jaw dropped. 10? In all his years of playing, he'd never heard of anyone receiving more than 2 SSS class talents at the start. This was unprecedented. The pod's display scrolled through the list of his new abilities, each one more incredible than the last. His mind reeled with the implications. This was his chance to not just play the game, but to dominate it. The regret of his past life burned like a coal in his chest, fueling his determination. With a deep breath, Qin Feng said, "Let's begin." The pod's interior shifted around him, and the world of Divine Realm unfolded before his eyes. The digital landscape was vast and breathtaking, a stark contrast to the small, cramped room he'd left behind. His heart swelled with excitement and a touch of trepidation. The game was on. The first thing he noticed was the difference in game graphics. The world looked more vivid, the textures more real. He could almost feel the breeze ruffling his digital hair as he looked around the bustling starting city. The NPCs were more lifelike, their expressions and gestures eerily human. The sound of clanking swords and distant battles filled his ears, a symphony of virtual adventure. Selecting his character, a human swordsman, he marveled at the new customization options. The system had integrated his preferences from his past life, giving him a head start. His character looked exactly as he had envisioned, a silent promise of the power he would soon wield. As he took his first steps into the game, the system notified him of his talents. Each one popped up in his vision like a glowing emblem, each more tantalizing than the last: supreme speed, heavenly strike, infinite mana, and so on. The sheer breadth of his abilities was overwhelming. He felt a twinge of guilt for having such a significant advantage over others, but he quickly pushed it aside. This was his chance to make things right. He ventured into the tutorial area, where the game's AI guided him through the basics. His movements were fluid, his reflexes sharp. It was as if his body had been made for this digital world. The SSS class talents didn't just boost his stats, they changed the very essence of his gameplay. He dispatched the low-level monsters with ease, the joy of battle returning to him in a rush of adrenaline. This time, he would not squander his talents. This time, he would conquer. The tutorial completed, he stepped into the city proper. Players of all races and classes milled about, chattering away in the game's universal language. The air was electric with ambition and excitement. Qin Feng's gaze fell upon the guild recruitment boards, where banners fluttered with invitations to join the strongest factions. He knew he couldn't stay a loner this time. He needed friends, allies, a family. With a steely resolve, he approached a nearby player, a fellow swordsman with a friendly aura. "Hey," Qin Feng began, his voice clear and steady, "I'm looking for a good guild to join. Know of any that might be recruiting?" The player, a tall elf with piercing blue eyes, turned to him with a smile. "Maybe," he said, sizing Qin Feng up. "But you'll have to prove your worth first." He extended a hand. "The name's Elric. What's yours, newbie?" Qin Feng took the proffered hand firmly. "Qin Feng," he said, a smirk playing at the corners of his lips. "And I'm not just any newbie." Elric's smile grew wider, his eyes sparkling with curiosity. "Is that so?" He leaned in, his voice dropping to a whisper. "Well, if you're looking to prove yourself, there's a new quest that just popped up. It's got a bounty so high, it's got the whole server talking. It's called The Awakening of the Ancient Guardian. Interested?" The name of the quest sent a shiver down Qin Feng's spine. It was a pivotal moment from his past, a turning point that had led to his rise in the game. He nodded. "More than you know," he murmured. Elric's grin grew. "Good. Let's go." The two of them set off, the cobblestone streets giving way to lush forests and towering mountains. The quest's location was a place of legend, where powerful monsters and treasures lay hidden. It was a place where heroes were born or broken. Qin Feng's heart raced as he thought of the challenges ahead, his 10 SSS class talents burning brightly in his mind. He knew that this was just the beginning. The road to the top was long and fraught with danger, but he was ready. This was his chance to write a new story, one of triumph and camaraderie. With Elric by his side, Qin Feng felt a flicker of hope. Maybe, just maybe, this time would be different. The journey to the ancient guardian's lair was treacherous, filled with monsters and traps that would have tested even the most seasoned player. But with his newfound talents, Qin Feng sliced through the obstacles with the grace of a dancer, leaving a trail of defeated foes in his wake. His blade sang a song of victory, and the very air around him seemed to resonate with power. As they approached the grand entrance, a colossal stone arch flanked by statues of ancient warriors, Elric looked at him with a mix of amazement and respect. "Where did you learn to fight like that?" he asked, genuinely curious. "A past I'd rather forget," Qin Feng replied with a wry smile. He had no intention of revealing his true identity or the fact that he'd played this game before. It was a new beginning, and he would play by new rules. The cavernous chamber beyond the arch was dark and foreboding, the air thick with the scent of ancient magic and the dust of long-forgotten battles. The ancient guardian lay dormant at the center, a titanic beast shrouded in shadows that seemed to pulse with malevolent energy. It was said that the creature had once been a protector of the realm, but now it had gone mad with power, threatening the very balance of the world. Qin Feng's eyes narrowed as he studied the creature. This was his first real test, and he had no intention of failing. He whispered to Elric, "We'll need to work together to take this thing down. Are you with me?" Elric nodded, his grip on his own sword tightening. "To the end," he said. Together, they stepped into the fray, their blades flashing in the dim light. The ancient guardian roared to life, its eyes burning with a fiery rage that seemed to illuminate the chamber. The battle was intense, a symphony of steel clashing against ancient scales, the smell of ozone and burning flesh. Yet, Qin Feng felt alive, more alive than he had in years. His talents synergized in ways he never could have imagined. Supreme speed allowed him to dart around the beast, avoiding its massive swipes, while Heavenly Strike delivered critical blows that pierced its defenses. And when the creature's attacks grew too fierce, Infinite Mana kept his shields up, allowing him to absorb the brunt of the impact. Elric fought valiantly, his own skills shining through as he complemented Qin Feng's abilities. They moved in perfect harmony, each strike and spell a deadly dance that brought them closer to victory. The other players who had gathered to witness the battle watched in awe, their whispers of amazement echoing through the chamber. As the ancient guardian's health dwindled, it made one final, desperate lunge. Qin Feng felt a surge of power within him, his 10 talents coalescing into a single, overwhelming force. With a shout that seemed to shake the very foundations of the cavern, he unleashed a blade of pure light, cleaving through the darkness and striking the creature's heart. The ancient guardian fell with a deafening thud, its body dissolving into motes of light that scattered across the room. The air was thick.